haven't streamed in a while. Today we're going to be experimenting with the production calculator I've been working on. It's not quite where my brain wants it. I've experimented with it a little bit, and it seems like I need to add more groups of stuff. That's like, you know, I was using like Skim for the longest time, and like Skim's great. It's got the item list, got everything I need on it. Only it doesn't help us plan out multiple factories, multiple production lines so easy. So in my own production planner, that's baked in. Well, strictly speaking, it's baked into the UI. Technical, jargony thing. So there's like 3 projects involved here. There's the TypeScript bindings to docs.json, which is like that's been released. That's on npm. There is the production planner, which parses the docs.json and spits numbers out. And there's production planner UI, which takes the production planner input-output logic and lets me like group things together. So while traveling in the tubes, we'll just switch that little overlay on. And we've got like a very basic UI here. Okay, so when I interact with the page, does it show the mouse? It does not show the mouse. That's kind of pants, to be honest. So up at the top, we've got a pull button, a plus button, a save button. Save button just brings up the JSON for exporting the stuff. I don't know if it'll actually let us copy and paste out of OBS. So it's probably important to find out if I can do that. Yes, it does. Okay, so I can import export. So we want to add a new production pool. We like click that button. We want to add items and inputs. We do with these buttons. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to put this in, like all of this in as pool 1. So we need to add some production to pool 1. I like it. You know, this is what I type like search for with like the codex thing. So I would search for, you know, ass in there. We got ass in there, and it's like, nah, that's the quickest way to search for it. It's just mildly amusing. So we're going to click into parts, go down, assembly director, and it looks like the click event doesn't work on the buttons in here. That's interesting. Just double check I haven't broken the live version. No, it's literally the OBS doesn't fire the click event. Okie dokie. So let's just rewind this a bit. So we're going to take that source out altogether because I can't use it in OBS, and using it in OBS isn't the primary like goal. So I probably should have found this out before streaming. So then I just have to do it as window capture. bloop, bloop. Okay, if I then just go tinker in the dev tools a bit just to get the chroma key on. And let's crop out the address. Do I bother cropping out the address bar? No, I'm not going to interact with it, so it's fine. So, bloop. So I'm going to load a new thing in. Oh god, that's hideous to look at. Yeah, I'm taking chroma key off. Okay, yeah, kind of. I might like look into doing some other stuff, like specifically for OBS, but I don't think I'm going to bother doing things here. Here we go. Okay, so new one there, and we were putting the assembly director system into the list there. So we've put that in. The amount doesn't match up with what we've got in the game here, so we need to put 0.75 in. So 0.75. So that's immediately brought up the list of all the ingredients that we need. It's also got the output down here. Without doing anything else, it's immediately saying we've got 117 heavy oil residue as byproducts. That'll get cleaned up later. Yeah, let's just quickly go over the UI here. So up the top, production list. So an item, the amount, what recipe it's currently on, and little indications for the ingredients. So you can see 2 adaptive control unit, 1 supercomputer equals 1 assembly direct system. And then that's down here as well, saying like the recipe for all different ingredients, so we can set the recipe on a per pool basis as opposed to a global production line basis, which is fun. So I'm just going to pop that off a second. So now I'm going to transfer the rest of these numbers in. So that's the magnetic thingy. The thermal thingy, and the pasta thingy. Right, so we're only doing half a minute, like half a nuclear pasta a minute, so we're going to notch that number down, and then you got the 1 and the 1 and the 1 there. Well, 1 and the 1 and 0.75 there. So that's got everything in that we need. Now, well, the last time I was working on this, I'd been setting up signs on the production line saying like, that belt there carries the supercomputers, that belt there carries these things. So we can see that there's a discrepancy between what this list is saying needs to go in and what we're actually intending to send in. I'll solve that in a bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop upstairs. Bloop. Now this is where the UI doesn't quite line up with my brain. So the automated wiring being produced on this floor goes straight into the adaptive control unit. Okay, just goes straight in, that's it. The adaptive control unit, I think, goes straight downstairs. Yeah, so just go straight downstairs. But this is getting produced, and that's going into there, and then blah 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 blah. Now, I don't know if I've intentionally done it this way or not, but we'll just quickly open a new tab. But just as a consequence of how I implemented things, production within a production line does not subtract from the requirements. So if I put in a screw here, well, we know it takes like 1 rod to do 4 screws, so we'll put in that. So some people, including myself sometimes, might feel that if I put in 1 iron rod, it should take the requirements off. It just turned out this way, this is how it works. But the way this calculator works is I can fling the output of this pool, I'll just pretend we're not producing. I haven't put a delete button in yet. You just set things to 0 and it doesn't come out. So we've got this 1 rod here, this needs 1 rod, and this saying, oh, we need the iron ingot and the iron ore. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure the output for pool 2 to fling the iron rod at pool 1. And now it doesn't need anything because it's getting all of its spots satisfied. Yay! So that's how this works. So because of that, rather than having this floor here as 1 single pool, it's going to be done as 2 pools. And this is where I think I need to still work on the UI a bit. I want to have it working perfectly with my brain. I need to be able to group production pools together, so I can fling output at a group of production pools. You know, it's like all of these outputs here would fling at a group representing these 2 separate sets of pools, and however I implement it would figure out where to send shit. There's code in here which says, which basically kind of functions like the in-game merger, except different. And again, kind of works like the in-game splitter, except different. Like it's got an amount-based splitter. So this configuration window here is flinging these numbers at a class called amount splitter, and if I put on a second, if I put on a third pool and I wanted to fling rods at that, it would take all of the rods from this available number, send them to the first set, and then it would take the remainder, fling it to the second set, and so on and so on and so on until it ran out. You can't currently change the order. It goes from left to right, which is a bit... That's a thing that needs changing. But there's only really me using it, and it was designed for my brain, so it's a case of, like, if I get feedback, I'll try to do stuff. Anyway, we're going back to here. So we're adding this second production pool. So that's going to have this first... I think I was waffling on about stuff, not having the scene on. Yeah, I was waffling on about this screen. Blah 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 blah. So you can't add additional things there because it's only the 1 pool. But the idea is it falls over. So if I had that set to half, and there was a third pool available, I could send, well, as many as I want, like as many rods as I wanted to the third pool, but because there's only 1 available, it would only get a half. Blah blah blah. So let's add these items in. So we've got 1.5 adaptive control unit. I mean, you can see here there's a bug in the code that I've got implemented for the search filter. It remembers the search string, but it doesn't execute the search on load, which is a little odd, but you can obviously work around it. So we've got the 2.5. We are using the default recipe, but I'll just demonstrate how like that recipe switching works there. So you just select that, it switches out the hints there, it switches out the ingredients list here, recalculates the output and subtracts within the correct input requirements and so on. But for this factory, we're using the default recipe for that. Actually, I think I'm using the default recipe for most things on this side. It's only when I get over, that side of things where we get the alts in. So, while that autosave's going in, let's get the engine in. So we've got 2.5 there. Then we'll put in production pool 3. And we need to have automated wiring, 11.25, and smart plate, 5 minute. Now, one of the fun things is, not over this side, but over the other side, recursive numbers come up. The libraries in use in the production calculator do support recursive number sequences. I, however, have not implemented that input support. So I may consider that in future, because as we get to that, you'll see that if you round up, you end up with teeny tiny amounts left over. Whereas if you use the actual recursive numbers, it would all work out. Or it should all work out, rather. Anyway, we need to send automated wiring and smart plating over to pool 2. So, bloop. And we'll send the, I could close and click on config and it would pre-fill the numbers, but we can do it from here as well. There we go. And we've got the production pool hint saying what's being produced where, because I haven't added the ability to rename production pools yet. So when I was trying to remember which pool to send stuff to, and I can just quickly load up the, here's one I made earlier thing. When you add lots of production pools without the ability to change the names, you can get lost quite easily. So like, here's one I made earlier. And if I want to like configure this, if I didn't have this here, I would have difficulty remembering where I'm going to send stuff. Anyway, so we've got those sent over to pool 2. So that will have impacted the ingredients list here. So it should now no longer be asking for adaptive control unit parts. Hang on a second, it's not adaptive, automated wiring and smart plating on this side, because it's already taken care of with the flung inputs. So we've got that side done. Now we swim over to this side, and this is where it started getting a little bit complicated in my head. It's also why I introduced the flung inputs feature. So this one is straightforward, right? It's producing 0.75 supercomputer to send to assembly direct system. This one, not so straightforward. It's producing so many batteries, sending them to 2 different places. It's also sending the byproduct to a coal generator, which I haven't accounted for yet in the production planner. So like, well, the surplus and byproducts, that's accounted for. But I haven't added the ability to say, I am going to send this water to a coal generator. Tell me how much megawatts I would get and how much coal I would need in order to boil off the water. That's it. It might go in at some point, it might not. It depends on how I'm feeling with implementing things. But you get the idea that I'm going to be adding production pools and flinging outputs in different places. Now, the reason why it gets a little bit complicated with just this limited single pool group UI, I tried adding like one pool per floor, but it got kind of complicated to keep track of like parts being fed back and forth, because we can see here I'm producing the supercomputers for the assembly direct system over here, but I'm producing the electromagnetic control rods for supercomputers on the same floor. And the way this calculator works, it wouldn't subtract the input requirements if it was in the same pool. It would have to be added as a separate pool. So the thing I'm going to be doing on this little demo stream, I'm going to be doing it the slightly more pain in the arse way of every single production line is going to be its own separate production pool, which is more of a headache for me. But less of a headache in some areas. So over here we're gonna make supercomputers. We're gonna make 0.75 supercomputers, and we can see from the signage I've got on here, which I will note, there isn't actually anything being produced inside here. This is just like a lot of planning. We can see here from the signage that I'm intending to use that particular recipe. Now, the way I build my factory is I don't write down what recipe I'm using on the signs. I'm just writing down the ingredients. And I haven't memorized every single recipe, which is why I added the icon list on the side of the recipe drop downs. So if I like switch around these, I can see it's like, oh, like this supercomputer needs like 4 thingies. That like default recipe needs those 4 thingies, and so oh, what's the other one left? Oh, C supercomputer. That matches up exactly with what I need. Yay! So that's that recipe. And that pool output is going to go to, well, the entire production here is just going to go to one place. It's going to go to pool 1 because that lines up with what's on the sign. I'm just going to get the entire production. There's that. And that will have taken off the supercomputer requirements from that list. Yeah, so it's down in the output there. Got down in the input. So next thing, I wonder if I should just like tweak the opacity if I'm not going to do the chroma key. It's not in filters, is it? It's actually in the layer. At least I thought it was. I don't quite know my way around OBS. I would have thought it would have been an opacity filter. I know I've got chroma key. There we go. So we can change the opacity of the entire thing in here. There we go. So it's still readable behind, like what's behind here. Because I've tried streaming OBS with a multi-monitor setup. OBS and Twitch do not like it at all. Anyway, new production pool. So we're going to be making batteries. And yep, that recipe matches up. We're going to be making 5 plus 7.5, 12.5 batteries. And we are flinging 5 batteries at production pool 1. And we are flinging 7.5 batteries at production pool 4. So you can see that will have knocked that down a bit. And this is going to keep, like, these ingredients lists are going to keep going, reducing further and further down. Eventually, what should happen is this input list should have all of, well, not these, the input list should have all of these on. And there shouldn't be any ingredients listed. But you can kind of get an impression, even now, why I want to add the ability to group pools together, just for like organizational purposes. Let's go on to the next one. So we are making electromagnetic control rods. Let's see, how many are we making? So it's 1 plus 0.75 plus 2 plus 4.8125. So making 8.5625 a minute. It's not that default recipe. There we go. So let's fling those around. So we're sending 1 a minute to pool 1. Sending 0.75 minute to pool 4. And with the remainder, we don't have pools for yet. So we'll have to remember to come back to that. There we go. New pool. Fuse modular frame. We're making 2. Yeah, we're just making default recipe there. We're flinging 1 at thermal, what's it? And we're flinging the other one elsewhere. Well, the elsewhere's over there, but, you know, yeah. Next thing, pooling what's it? So, new pool. It's got 3 plus 4 plus 2.25. So that's 9.25. So we're sending 3 to pool 1, 4 to turbo motor, 2.25 to the supercomputer. And then we got the 1 turbo motor here. Making the 1. Let's make sure that the recipe lines up. Yep. Now we can skip back through these, saying that we're adding. Yep, that's matched up with that, so the signs are actually up to date. That's good. There is a slight bug in the production planner at the moment. The available number doesn't update like intuitively. I feel like what it should be doing is saying, oh, we've got 9.25 available up here, then it should say like this, like that number minus this comes down here, this number minus this goes down here, and so on. Anyway, so yes, 4 over to pool 9. There we go. Now, did we have a turbo motor 1? I'm going to get yes, we did. We had electromagnetic control rod. I've got 2 going to pool 9. Now we've got the pressure conversion cube. We are making 1 a minute with the default recipe. We're sending half over to nuclear pasta, which is on pool 1, and then the other half over to turbo motor, which is on pool 9. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. There we go. I'm just going to pop a window open onto the wiki. Just check why on earth I have pressure conversion cube going to turbo motor. Oh no, there is an alt. Yeah, there is an alt for it. Do I have that alt? I do. But I don't have it selected on there, which is kind of weird. Okay, so I guess what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rely on me overflow logic here, where it just, stuff trickles down. I am going to reduce the output of this pool down to 0.5. And that should say that we've got none coming in. Yeah, so it's listed as an input, but it's also saying we've got none coming in. Because, like I said, it uses up the inputs and doesn't, and passes up the remainder, so if there's none left over, it doesn't pass anything on. Right, let's pop upstairs. And this is one of the reasons why the grouped inputs, outputs, pools thing is needed, because this is where we start doing ingots. So we got 15 plus 5.84583. We're using 6 decimal places because that's what docs.json uses. So because it's a recurring sequence, we're going to round up to 1. So that's 5834. And then plus 25.6875. Now, one of the things that I should probably do is add the ability to just dump calculations in. But I'm not gonna. Well, at least not today. Anyway, it'll happen if I find myself needing to do it often enough that it's worth doing. But right now, I haven't done it. So I'm just gonna copy it over manually. So 46.5333334 on the default recipe, and we are flinging 15 to pool 2. So that might be wrong. Yes, because this is the whole thing of like these two aren't grouped. What does it need those 15 for? Right, so that's going to go to pool 3 because it's the wire, like the fuse wire recipe. So we're going to go on to pool, yeah, we're on pool 3. Cable is the cable recipe, and the wire is going to be switched to the fuse wire recipe. Now we can see that these numbers don't quite line up. This is saying that we need 17.9 and a bit ingots, and that's going to be some of it. It's going to be from other parts in the production chain. But we're going to stick with it for now. And then we go on to fling 15 of these ingots over to the wrong pool. So now that should say that, yeah, so it's gone down to 2.9 watts because we're sending in 15 and it originally required 17. Right, let's scoot back over here. Right, now this is going to wire. Where am I making wire? Oh, over here. So that's going to be a completely different production pool. And then the same thing with high-speed connectors there. So we're going to leave that for now. Add a new pool. And as we're adding these, we can see more and more why I want to add grouped production pools. Alright, so we've got 60 plus 69.4375 plus 23.383. 334 plus 67.833334 for 1.6 9.96675. So we want 452.289585 alloy ingots. I should note that all recipes don't make any difference whatsoever to calculations at the moment. Power calculations, calculations over time are not taken into account in this production calculator because that's not how my brain works with production. I'm just dealing with item lists, numbers, blah. So, where were we? 450 things. Right, so we know that 60 of these are going over here, but we want to double check that that's all going into the automated wiring. Yep. So we're sending 60 to pool 3, even though it's flagged for adaptive control unit. It's actually going into the production chain for automated wiring. It's just automated wiring isn't coming out, it's just staying entirely within here. Right, let's scoot back over here. Whoop. I haven't done any of these yet. Okay, new production pool. So I've got to computer. .5 plus 3.125, 4.625 on the crystal oscillator computer. I think I'm just going to scoot along doing the production pools and then go back around and sort out production flinging. So I've got heavy modular frame, 5 plus 2, so that's 3.5. And it is the concrete based recipe. Now these numbers don't match up because I haven't switched full recipes over. Like for example, encased industrial beam, we're going to be using encased industrial pipe. At least I'm reasonably certain that's what I'm doing. We'll figure that shit out later. So there we go. Circuit boards. I can now see the problems with having separate recipe selections per pool. A lot of these I would want to use the same recipe selection on. So I'm going to pop open my code editor. I'm not going to do it right now. Oh, that's noticed I forgot to upload the well, I've got to commit the changes for the 32 pixel wide images. So adding 32 pixel wide images. Let's push that up. So add to.md. Not April. May 12th, 2024. Demo stream. UI for applying the same recipe selection across multiple pools. Also, yeah, UI for, well, this isn't from this stream, so I'll put on as a separate thing. General ideas, so group production tools for shared input and flinging. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Maybe add ability to change order of production. Oh, amount splitter distribution. Circuit board numbers, right. 7.5 plus 12.3 recurring. So that is 333, 334 plus 4.28125. 24.114584. And it is the silicon circuit board. Remaining stator. 0.25 plus 8.5, 625. 18.8125. Should we top up me drink at some point? Okay, 158.5 plus 16.875. I think this is the recipe at which I first realised I need to add grouped pools. because things were getting a little bit clunky downstairs, and then by the time I got to here, it's like, yeah, I need to add something to fix this, because putting every single production line into separate pools is really the only way to work around not having group production pools, because it lets me have the complete fine-grained control over stuff on the same floor, because it's just literally just a separate pool. So I know mentally pool 1 is one floor, pool 2 and 3 is another floor, and then where is it? Right, so pool 4 through 10 is another floor, pool 11 through etc. is another floor. It's a whole thing. Like a UI, like I'm not a UI UX expert, but I do know that I am having a problem. I know what the solution is. I just don't know how best to implement it in terms of UI. Anyway, numbers. New production pool. So we got steel ingot. We know we're using solid steel. It's auto saving, so I can't bring up the in-game calculator. Now, one of the things I would have to think about is if I'm going to add support for entering calculations into here, it's when I record those inputs, or if I record the result of the inputs. So if I put in 3 divided by 2, I can store that result as a recurring sequence using fraction.js. I can store that as a truncated sequence or a rounded sequence using bignumber.js and my own internal numbers class. Because the whole docs.json has a 6-decimal limit, so I've got code in to account for that kind of thing. Or I could literally just store the input calculation. That would probably be using another library, so I wouldn't have to parse calculations myself. Just get into a whole thing. Anyway, numbers. So we've got 60 plus 115.5 plus 89.15625 plus 52.916667 plus 22.61111. 340.184029. New production pool. Silica. 53.052083. That's already at a recurring point, so I'm gonna have to round that up. Oh, let's do it that way for giggles. Plus 53.515625. 67708. And we're using cheap silica. New production pool. Concrete. 25.666667. On the fine concrete recipe. Have I already got heavy modular frame in? Yes, that's pool 14. It's only got the one output, so that's why I'm jumping ahead a little bit. might need to force it to recalculate there. Oh, I didn't press the button, did I? Bloop. There we go. Pool 14. Now it's still asking for concrete because of the encased industrial beams. Right. Modular frame. 1.25 plus 9.333334. 9583334. That is the steeled frame recipe. Yeah, when I was testing out this particular one, this is where I ran into an issue with a false positive on my infinite recursion check and code, where if you're having motors and rotors on the same production pool, it falsely flagged that as an invalid infinite recursion where the numbers would go up rather than down. Because if you're doing recycled rubber with recycled plastic, the fractions of rubber and plastic should go down the deeper into the chain you go, whereas if you put on a certain number of motors and a certain number of rotors, the number of rotors goes up. It was thinking, like, what the hell? That was wrong. So that code that code's been taken out. It was just completely wrong and unnecessary. So a new implementation of the production chain code was added in. It's literally called, production chain, and that standalone chunk tests for what is recursive rather than checking up the current production set, which is where the false positive came in. Anyway, new production pool. So we got 5 plus 2.333334 plus 9.625. 16.958334. And that is the copper rotor. We can see here that the sorting order... Oh no, you can't see that. That's... Oh, okay. Ugh. There's a drop-down menu here, which you can't see, because that's how window capture works. It's listing alternate copper rotor, then alternate steel rotor, rather than having the default recipe at the top. Let's put that in on the to-do list. Sort recipe selection drop-downs to have default recipe at the top. Anyway, yes, things, nonsense. X1. New production pool. Making 9.625 motor. Making 4.28125 silicon high-speed connectors. And that is all going to one place, so let's do the production flinging. Pool 6. Bloop. Yeah, and this is where things start to fall apart, and why I started doing other things, because I knew I needed to send some smart plate to crystal oscillator, but because I hadn't finalized the amount of crystal oscillator I needed, I couldn't put the number on the sign. And then you can see, oh, we're doing these things. It's like, no, completely fall apart. And then you get to upstairs, where we're going to be producing more stuff. And like that's where my brain started to fall apart, trying to manage like what's going where. Which is why I stopped streaming for several months and made a production plan. Anyway, production pool, reinforced iron plate. Now, this is the fun part. I don't know how much I need to produce, but I do know how much I need to send different places. So I need to send 5 to not modular engine, that's going to go to smart plating. Just pull 3. And then we need to send 7.05 5556 to modular frame, pool 21. Should probably add separate scroll bars here. See, add separate scroll bars for production pool side element. And we're sending an unknown amount to Crystal Oscillator, which is on a completely different production pool, which doesn't exist yet. Fun. But also we'll be changing the recipe. So for some reason, rather than using stitched iron plate, I made a decision at some point to use adhered iron plate. So we're making a rubber from recycled rubber. We know we're making at least 37.5. That is going to one of the pools, but I need to double check which production pool it's going to, because even though it's flagged for modular engine, if that is on the second floor, it might be going to one of the earlier space elevator parts. Modular engine is second floor. Yeah, it is actually getting rubber. So we've got to send that to production pool 2. These don't have their numbers on, but they do have some shit on. But I know I haven't done a production pool for that yet. Or that, possibly. Yeah. Now we need to pop upstairs. So we are making fuel from diluted fuel. That'll be coming from heavy oil residue. probably. We don't know how much we're going to need because it's not flagged on every single output, every single pool. Here we have heavy oil residue, which we know is going to go to production pool 27. Even though we don't know the full amount yet. We can come in and change it later. Now, for some reason, plastic isn't flagged as recycled plastic. I don't know if that was intended or if that was a consequence of the whole issue of doing recursive calculations. We'll just follow through with what I've got flagged. And we got iron plate, just flagged for steel coated plate. I think that's nitric acid. I'll just quickly check the wiki for battery. No, that's alumina solution. Oh, that's why it's got bauxite on it. So, new production pool. Alumina solution. 25 a minute. Going to battery, which is on pool 5. New production pool again. Sulfuric acid. So 1.25 plus 5.555, 556. 36.8055556. Yeah, this is where things get funky. So, do I do this as one production tool or not? Let's do it as one production pool, just for giggles. And again, this is a note of like things that I don't have implemented in the production calculator. I would like the ability to say, oh, you are producing 94.4 things. If you want to fling that at a coal generator, you're going to need that much coal, and you produce like that many things, and you need that many coal generators. Anyway, where was I? Yes. Alumina ingot. Aluminum. 283.333, 334. Apparently we're doing pure ingot. So that's where the 566.6 recurring numbers come in, and you can see because I'm rounding up, there's a consequence there. Rather than saying 67 or just 66, it says 68. So we can see there, the calculator says I need alumina solution. That's instant scrap, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I said I hadn't memorized all the recipes. That is one of the kind of a vague recollection of. I say, why is alumina solution not in this like list of signs I've got? I say, that's a different recipe. Anyway, so it says I need 283. That matches up with the sign, and then for call, we've got 188 with an additional sign total there for that thing. 94, and then we got the water. The water thing doesn't quite add up, and I'm not 100% sure why. I think it might be because of the sulfuric acid. That number should go down. So if I go back to pool 32, and I can fling I don't know why that says sulfuric acid going to sulfuric acid. That's probably battery or something else. We've got 5.5, 5.5, 5.56 going to pool 33. Bloop. So that should bring the water number down. Except no, it doesn't. I think these numbers are, yeah, these numbers haven't been updated correctly. So let's go off the signage. You see, we want to fling 94.444445. So that's recorded as a amount to be flung, but that doesn't add up there. Right. So pool 6 for battery. Nope. There we go. Sulfuric acid 31.25. Yeah, so that sign can get changed. Woo! No, it can't. That's the correct sign. Ah, crap. Right. See, this is what happens when you don't play in a while. You lose track of what's going on here. Now that is correct, right? So, yeah, what's being produced goes there. Where it's going goes up top. So yes, that is meant to be battery. Right, so it's 31.25 plus 94.444445. So it's 94.4 recurring. Which thing am I on? Oh no, yeah, I'm still over here. Right, pool 33. Pool 32. Okay, so 125.694445. So that should now mean that that's getting the full amount there. So I'll take 1.25 going to pool 5. Oh yeah, that's another thing I need to add. So one of the things with how the pool numbers work is that isn't the pool number, that's a pool ID. If you load in a save file, which I think I did on the other tab, it already has a pool instantiated, so that's pool 1. you load in the save file. Oh, you've got a new pool instance. Because they're not fully immutable, but they're immutable enough in this context. Because pool references get kept around on sets, weak maps in the JavaScript and TypeScript. So when you're loading a new save, that means I don't want to reuse that first pool, therefore we end up starting from pool 2, which is one of the reasons why I want to add the ability to rename pools. Let's see, fix tab numbers, so pool 2 after reloading is displayed as pool 1. It's either that or I need to add a function to clear the IDs. Or add ability to clear ID references. Because one assumes if you're loading in a new save file, that pool should not have any references left over. But this minor bug kind of works around any possible bugs related to references. Anyway, so now we fix those numbers. Apparently we still need 0.19 sulfuric acid. Is that right? So I go back to pool 32 for set the pool 33 flinging to 0. Oh, right. It's because of this whole not having recursive numbers in thing. So if I just copy this number into here, put that into there, and we do that plus that. Six, 9, 4, 4, 6, 4. So working around the recursive number issue. So I'll go back here, you can see sulfuric acid disappeared off this list, which only leaves the water needed for the instant scrap, which matches up with what we're expecting, so we are good there. Okie dokie. Casing. So we got 212.5. Of Alclad casing. Radio control unit. 6.25 of the crystal oscillator computer. Yeah, apparently we're using the default recipe for some reason. And I think this is about where I kind of bailed out of doing any space elevator stuff for a while. That's why I went on the whole bauxite and oil thing. Sheet. So we got 32.916667. 0.05208334. Oh yeah, we didn't add that note in. Okay, so consider adding ability to enter calculations into input fields and call those calculations to save file. That's, yeah, there's that. There's also consider adding ability to enter recursive number sequences. Now, the way fraction.js does recursive number sequences is it would do something like 33.916. It would just do like 6. So there's support patterns of recursions. Now the way I write down recursive sequences is just that, because that's how I was taught about recursive numbers in like the primary or secondary school or whatever it was. You just put an R on and it says that digit is the R. But you might have seen somewhere on one of these signs where I would note down, like if it was a pattern of of thingies, like if this was 916, 916, 916, I would note it down with square brackets. Now, like this is all like trivial to support, kind of. It's just a matter of probably adding new types in, because certain areas of the code expect big number, certain areas of the code expect fraction, certain areas of the code expect amount string, which is the 6 decimal format that docs.json uses. Certain areas of the code support all of them. But if I'm going to have like an abstracted type so I can support saving and loading these to JSON, like that's the best way I can think of doing it. Anyway, we've got to add this in a non-recursive fashion at the moment. So we got 86.96875. And it's deemed copper sheets. And then the last pill that we have noted down is iron ingot, and this is the point where we kind of gave up on shit. Now, I'm probably going to be using the iron alloy ingot. You can see here, we just used the blueprint. And it hasn't been altered since it was placed. I don't think there's anything upstairs. You can even see here that some of the planning shit we were doing is like incomplete there. Yeah, so there's nothing upstairs. So now what we can do, go downstairs, can make sure all the production flinging is configured. And then we can update missing numbers on signage. And correct numbers like we did with the sulfuric acid. Right. Not pressure conversion cube. There we go, pool 5. Battery. So we've got 5 going to the electromagnetic thingy. 7.5 going to supercomputer. Cool. And electromagnetic control rod. So we've got to send 4.8125 to motors, which are on pool 23. So if I put over to pool 23, we can see we've got the electromagnetic control rod, which means I need to switch recipes there. I'm just making sure that I've got the right recipe lining up here and there. Okay, pool 7. Right, so 1 going over the nuclear pasta. Oh, hang on a second. Both of these are going over to pool 1. Right, yeah, that's why it was confusing. Oh, that's not going to nuclear pasta, that's going to pressure conversion cube. It doesn't have the pasta in the middle. So pressure conversion cube is pool 10. Now this is getting its own supply of aluminium ingots, so I've got to remember that one. Those numbers are all entered. It looks like the correct recipe. Pool 9. It's all going to pool 1. How's pool 1 looking at the moment? Yeah, so I've got a bunch of ingredients not accounted for. And then pool 10. Yeah, half and half between nuclear pasta and pressure conversion cube. Turbo motor thingy. Actinium ingot. So that's pool 11. So we should have so I'm going to wire, so that's pool 17. 5.8458. 4. Going to pool 13. And 25.6875. Going to pool 24. Copper ingot. This is going to be a fun one. So, 69.4375 going to circuit board. That's pool 15. Uh, 23.383.334 going to wire, which is pool 17. 7.833334 to broader, which is pool 22. This is why I want to be able to rename pools, so I can just, rather than saying, oh, space elevator phase blah, space elevator phase blah, rotor, and then it would be listed in rotor. I did consider doing like a drop. I'm doing this thing again. I'm forgetting that the drop down doesn't capture on the overlay. I did consider doing a UI, like a custom drop down that had the icons baked in, but had accessibility concerns. Also mobile interaction concerns as well. You can see this kind of issue with select boxes or multi-selects and things on I forget which search site it is. See the archive search site or the community highlights search site, where there is a option to hit a button and it makes a select go full screen. It might even be something completely like not related to the clips archive. Because some mobile browsers don't behave consistently with selects on mobile, but have a more consistent experience when available. Oh, it's the QA site search archive thingy. Yeah, I think I could bring that up. So I'll quickly pull up what I'm on about here. So, like, searching this on well, a bit on desktop, but also on mobile as well. It's kind of inconvenient because, you know, blah 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 versus toggle modal, which brings it up full screen and makes it behave more like how some mobile browsers do with regards to selected elements. You know, like you click on it, and rather than having a little drop down context menu, you just get a big giant one. So yeah, again, another example of me not being like a UI UX expert. I had a problem. That was my way of solving it. Yeah, wait, where were we? Just Pill 22 for routers, yes. Bloop. 141.666.667 going to pool 34. Loop. And then 89.96875 going to copper sheets, just pool 36. Pool 13. So we have 1.5 going to pool 2 for adaptive control unit, and 3.125 going to pool 35. Now, when I'm done transferring these numbers over, what I should find is like very few ingredients listed, and like only having like the raw alls coming in, if at all, on some of them. Like this one should have like nothing coming in, like on the ingredients list, because it should all be taken care of with the inputs. Yeah. Right, here's my frames. So we have 1.5. Now, is that going to adaptive control unit, or is it going to precursor? Nope, that is going to adaptive control unit. So that's pool 2. And we've got 2 going to fuse modular frame on pool 7. Circuit boards. directed there, so 7.5 to pool 2. 12.333, 333, 434, going to computers, pool 13, and 4.28125, going to high speed connector, pool 24. Next one. Right, so that means it's not going to pool 3. That's automated wiring, that one, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, so it's not going to pool 2, it's going to pool 3, right? So 11.25 going to pool 3. 8.5625 going to pool 6. 8.5 going to stator, which is pool 16. That's a thought. Add on the to-do list. Consider adding production needed. Sorry. Input needed. Section on production flinging config. So what I'm thinking here is I could have like a little section on this side saying, oh, pool, well, in this case, pool 4 needs so many stators. And I could just click a button to just add that. Or I have checkboxes and say, add this, this, and this. I don't want to like entirely automate it though, because it feels like a bit too much hand holding. Anyway, where were we? 16.875 to pool 4. Now, what I think I'm going to do is I need to go top up my drink. So I'm going to flag that on, flag that off, look at somewhere with sufficient contrast, and then be right back. There we go. Right. Wire, pool 16, pool 4, yep. Next one. So 60 going to framework. Yep. So that's pool 2. And we got 115.5 going to heavy modular frame, which is pool 14. .15, 625 to stator, which is... Hang a second, I might just try tweaking with the dev tools and put the scroll bars in now. Let's see, height 100% of flow auto. Oh, right, because it's the headers in the way. CQ units. I've got to look that up. MBN, CSS, CQ unit. CQ unit. CQI, right. CSS values and units, there we go. CQH, that's the one I want. There we go. 70% container query, what's it? Not perfect, but it'll do for now. Right, where was I? Just building the messages. Stator. Stator? Have I not actually started making status? Or am I like losing track of it? I know I've got like titles on the I've got tooltip titles on these, so I'm just going to do a search in the DOM here. There it is, pool 16. There's another reason why I need to do renameable thingies, pools. Far too many messages. Let's see, 2.916667. Going to modular frame. That's pool 21. .6.111.112. Oh, too many ones. Going to pool 22. Here we go. .03.052084 going to pool 15. .7 going to concrete, which is pool 20. 3.515625, just pool 24. So pool 20 should already be configured. Yep. Pool 21. So we got 1.25. Yep, it does go direct to frameworks. That's pool 2. And 9.333334. Destination not flagged. That is probably heavy modular frame. Don't remember which pool that is though. Oh yeah, it's this one. I was just thinking, oh, I'm not sure which one it is. Let's click on the output config so I can see the list. It's like, I'm on the right one. Modular frame. Yeah, so it is modular frame. So there is a sign missing from here. Should say heavy modular frame. Getting distracted by messages again. Not 93, 9.323, 334, to pool 14. Hang on a second. I'm doing that thing again. Right, yeah, someone's talking about VR mods in the main Satisfactory Discord. A vague recollection of a clip where they're actually talking about that. Bloop. Right, where was I? Modular frame, configured, bloop. Pool 22. Yep, copper rotor. Let's see, engine. So that's rotors are for the smart plating. So we've got 5 going to pool 3. 2.333, 334. Going to turbo motor. Pool 9. 9.625. Coming to motor. v23. I'm going to post a silly emoji joke in the Satisfactory Discord. So talking about VR and Satisfactory, so I just posted the goggles emoji with the cat wiggle emoji surrounding. Right, so the rotors sorted. Motors, pool 23. Why is my output not showing? That's a bug. I might actually fix that live. Okay, so that's going to be in HTML.js. Output. What condition is that wrapped in? Oh, right. The output's wrapped inside the ingredients condition. Okay, so I've got to take that out. Now, I've got Cloudflare caching in front of this, so I might end up having to switch to the local copy. Just rebuilding it. Let's see. Do a save. Wait for compile to finish. No, that's the CloudFront copy. There's the local copy. There we go. There's that fixed. Now, of course, this will mess up the numbers, like I was mentioning. But let's update the CloudFront copy. Just commit that as well. Output should not be hidden if all ingredients are satisfied. So we'll reload that. Load that in. Yeah, so it hasn't made it through CloudFront just yet. So I'll just work on this copy. So the workaround for this bug is we amend the ingredients list. I could try messing with my cache, but like, and I could do stuff with the HTML copy as well, but there's not that many people using it that having a slightly stale cache is that big of an issue. Alright, so we're sending 5 to engine. It is taking them out to direct, yep, so that's pool 2 and 4.625 going to cooling, which is pool 8. And we set that back to 65, triggering the bug again. Okay, pool 25, or 24, that should already be configured. It's on the right recipe there, yeah, but it is. So pool 25, this is where things will start to get a bit wonky. Right, output. Which pool was Crystal Oscillator on? Is it actually on any pool? Looks like I'm not actually baking Crystal Oscillator. Anywhere. Okay, so that means I can go add shit on a new floor because it's missing. Which round did these go? Take the overlay off while I'm doing this bit. I ran out of plates. I'm fairly confident I'm making any plates over there. I did at one point hope to make this production planner more draggy droppy, but finding the right libraries to use for that, so I wouldn't have to do everything from scratch, is just a bit too much of a headache. Okay, so this is going multiple places. We've also got to double check what recipe we want to use. Let's stick with the default recipe for now. So I'm taking that off. Let's see, what's the first thing that needs crystal oscillators? Oh, this is all rendered, so I've actually searched the DOM for it. Out of the modals. Production pool 3. Oh, that's not 0 index trait, it's just production pool 4. Right, so I need 1.125. Oh yeah, put the overlay back on. So I need 1.125 for supercomputer. There we go. If I search for that, we'll match all of the drop downs. You want pool 9. That's false positive. That might be false positive match for the supercomputer as well. Let's double check that. Yes, that's a false positive match. Pressure conversion cube. Again, that's that one. And 13. So this one does actually need it. Okay, so crystal oscillator 4.625, go to your computer. That's going to be a manufacturer recipe. So let's change the machine there. And pool 35, that should be the radio control unit. Yep, 3.125. Okay, so we need a new production pool. So 4.625 plus 3.125, 7.75. The output's configured, so we got 4.625 going to pool whichever thingy, 13. .125 to 35, yep. Where did we first see radio control unit? Not radio control unit, crystal oscillator. Here we are. This says we need 19.375 reinforced iron plate. So 2.8125. No, that's stitched. That's not stitched. That's something else. Here it is. 3.75, so 19.375 divided by 3.75, so that's going to be 6. Have I got another floor beneath me and I've forgotten about it? Yes, I have. Losing track of which bloody floor I'm on. Okay, which direction do I want to be heading in for reinforced iron plate? Pool 25. So we've got 5 plus 7.055556 plus 19.375. So that's 91.430556. Pretty sure that's pool 38. Yep. So we need 274.3066. I'm going to guess that's 6 recurring. And 81.435 recurring. There we go. So yeah, I'm back to where I was now. Right, rubber. We're going to be having to hop back and forth for shit now, aren't we? See, elevator facility, rubber production, missing numbers. Well, it needs numbers. Pool 27. Which I won't have the full numbers for that, because I don't have, like, I won't have the full numbers for fuel, because I don't have the full numbers for rubber. I don't have full numbers for plastic. But I should have numbers for reinforced iron plate. There we go. 545. That's going to be 7 assemblers. Oh yeah, I've got to fix that bug as well. I can't enter trailing zeros because it's trimmed off the input. This is one of those other things where having an intermediate type for inputs and outputs. Like the amount in this input box does not need to match up with like the actual number, but as I'm typing 274.30, the production calculation kicks in, figures out that 274.30 is just 274.3 and stops us from typing the O, which is a mild annoyance. I've got to update the to-do list for that. I already knew about that bug, so that goes on my general ideas list. Fix bug where one cannot do a training zero of a number. Well, on a decimal. Oh, all the things kicked in. So that's 6, 7. So we've got 45.717 recurring. 478516 UPM plastic. We want to copy this number into wherever the hell I left steel ingots. There we are. Let's pull this iron plate. Pool 30. That suggests we've got a shortfall. So I need to pop down to fiddle with steel ingot numbers. Where did iron plate go? There we are. Solid steel 45 or 60, I forget. 60, so that is one foundry. Cool. Right, we need to update these numbers. Where were we? So we got 60 plus 115.5 plus 89.55625. 2.916667 plus 6 1 1 1 2 plus 45.717526. So we got 385.9 555. Yeah, here's an example of the thing I was mentioning earlier about recursive patterns and how I notate them down. Ironing gets up there. I'm not 100% sure if I'm needing iron ingots anywhere else, so I'm not going to update this for now. Well, I'm not going to update this for now. I'm going to update like this shit for now. Just have to find it again. There we go. Pool 18. Yeah. So this is the kind of goal we want. Where we have only a raw ingredient listed. This is an example of the issue with having to round up the recursive notes. So we have a really small scientific notation decimal here. So that would be like 7 zeros in front of that 8. So like 0.000, etc. What number were we up to? Well, let's just go back to the beginning and see where we're up to. Alright. So, the modular engine should be coming from pool 2. Adaptive control unit should also be coming from pool 2. Versatile framework should be coming from pool 2 as well. So that just leaves the copper ingots, which are not on this floor, they're downstairs. Although I think at some point I decided I was going to give it its own copper ore supply. Yeah, so it's getting its own copper ore supply. But we have got it knocked down as alloy ingot. All the outputs from pool 3, well, see, those are surpluses. Surpluses really shouldn't be listed in the output dialog. Yeah, those are going to pool 2. So we've got cable and wire. Is this taking raw ingots in? Yes. Strictly speaking, I have a feeling that means I should be adding the cable production on a separate pool. I think. Because then there wouldn't be any ingredients listed, it would just be flagged as blur. Yeah, so let's remedy that. Alright, so we want to make 225 cable. We got 450 wire from let's see, fused wire. Almost pool 39. I need to find me copper and deuterium ingots. So that should be going to the pool on the end. Same with that. So no ingredients there. So I'm going to pool 39. And this should be going to pool 3. Yeah, there we go. Now I just need to tinker with the save file. Now it's all based on like ID matching, so if I edit the save file, so the 2 pools I just added are after pool 3, everything should be like fine. I mean, like there will be the issue where you know, like pool 1 will now be pool 2. Right, there we go. So it's in just in the order that it's listed in the save file, not the order it's listed in the ID thingy. Checking messages a second. Okay, now the only thing that I should be flinging into this pool is the raw ores. The ingots should be getting produced like inside here. So this is one of those things where I could add another pool that is making, you know, those 600 ingots. That's another thing I could be doing. Rather than having this as a table view, I could be having this as like a tree list. It's like these 600 things make these 100 things, and it's like let's add it to the to-do list. Consider adding tree list for ingredients view. Now that is possibly going to be a problem because of how the production calculator works under the hood. It just takes the entire production list, iterates through it itself. So if I wanted to add a true tree view for the ingredients thing, I would have to non-recursively calculate everything, because you would want to be having numbers of ingots listed separately. So if I was doing stitch stack and plate on the same pool, you'd want to be having a separate set of copper ingots. So I think Yeah, we're going to leave that as is, because that's good enough. Alright, so we've got pool 3. Steel beams. I don't remember if I'm making steel beams anywhere. Let's see. Alright, what's the actual class of that? Oh, DevTools is frozen. Oh, there's actually steel beam, okay. Yeah, it's nowhere in the save file that I just made. And like, this is an example of why I needed to do the production planner, because I just completely lost track of like what stuff I needed. And if I was doing this properly, I would be doing you know, like steel beams like somewhere else. Am I even like actually making? I need to double check the signage on that, because am I just sending over the raw steel ingots? Okay, so it's making its own steel beam. And presumably I'm flinging the steel ingots in. Yep. All the way down there. So that's why it's not listed as an ingredient. Now, one of the things I could do is I could actually add a pool to track the raw ores. And fling the ores at places so that, like for example, with the nuclear pasta, it would only show the ingots. But because, like, for nuclear pasta, it's producing its own set of ingots, like, that's not on this floor. Yeah, so with nuclear pasta, it's producing its own set of ingots to make, copper dust? Copper powder. That would possibly be a little bit misleading or distracting. Pool 4. Oh, pool 3. Pool 4. Here we go. Yep, no ingredients there. Pool 5. Here we go. Supercomputer. Now, somewhere in here is radio control unit, I think. Yep, here we go. Except it's not flagged for sending to the supercomputer, maybe? No, it isn't. Alright. Okay, so we need to send 2.25 to pool 7. There we go, let's drastically reduce that. And then cooling system. I think renaming pools is going to be like the first thing that I do. And, well, I'm going to try avoiding doing any further development this week. But it's going to be certainly like one of the top priorities. There we go, cooling system. Pool 7. Right, why do we have ingredients still listed? Oh, no, we don't. I was misreading that. The outputs. Okay, that's fine. Why do we have a surplus of stuff? Oh, that's alts. Whoopsie. Pool 8. Okie dokie. Hang on a second, I'm going to pull the thing up for Discord. Sulfuric acid. Which pool is that in? Pool 35. That's fine. Actually, no, that's fine. I need casing first. Pool 37. So we need 12.5 coming down to pool 8. Sorted. next thing. Yep, ingredients there. Here we go. Ingredients. So we need 100 casing, but it's getting its own ingots. Maybe. I mean, I can go check if it's flagged for fuse modular frame. Getting distracted by DMs again. Casing. I think that might be upstairs. Okay, so it is like it's signposted for making its own casing, but it's flagged up here for getting shit. Okay, here we go. Output 100 going to pool 10. And then 100 going to pool 38. I'll do that while I'm here. And then nitrogen gas obviously comes from the resource well pressurizer. Right, now heatsink. I remember I hadn't actually been producing those. Those need to go in a new production pool. Now, was that actually iron ingots? Or was this the point where I gave up, and this is actually going to be heatsink or some shit. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Because this is one of those things where, like, I could continue with this playthrough, or I could start over and make heavy use of the production planner from scratch, but that would require some of these things like adding in the grouped pools. So I could say, like, here's a group of production pools for like all of those things. So we need to do a heat sink. You have to go with the default recipe. So we need to send 18.5 to cooling. Going to be 3 assemblers. It's going to be pool 11. Oh, hang on a second, I can actually update this signage here. Alclad sheets. 82.5 UPM. So I'm going to do that as well. These are going to heatsink, making Alclad sheets, 92.5 of them. That's 30 on an assembler, so that's going to be 4 assemblers. these are going to pool 41 now because I've reloaded that scroll thingy I did, just went away. Yeah, there's no alt for that. Okay, so we need 2.5 aluminium ingot. .83 PM. Copying it. Where was I getting a heat sink from? Oh, for the cooling system. There we are. Right, I need to go update rubber. Have I got the right cooling system recipe on there? Apparently so. UPM with recycled rubber. So it's going to be 1. Let's see, which production floor is that? Well, production pool is that on? Pool 29. 5 plus 91.4355. 556 plus 18.5. 147.435, 556. Okay, reinforced iron plate. Pool 28. And 18.5, that's a low one. Pool 11. Yep, so water and nitrogen gas is all we're expecting there, because that's raw resources. So we thought the state finisher. Pull pool 12 up. Which pool does radio control unit come from? Pool 38. This is the one where I've kept forgetting to put the blooming signage on. Right, pool 12. Oh no, that's not why I forgot to put the signage on, that's because of that. So there's another floor that has this kind of same clearance issue, and what I did with it was I put the signs in front. So we need 2 for turbo motor, so pool 12. Pressure conversion cube. People 13. So the next thing is motor. Oh yeah, I've also got rubber to take care of as well. This is wrong thing. Okay, so this is going to turbo motor. It needs 24 unit a minute of rubber. So that's also going to be 1 refinery's worth. Which pool is rubber? Pool 29. So we got 37.5 plus 91.435, 556 plus 18.5 plus 24. $171. Pool 12. I suppose one of the ways I could solve this issue with the numbers is tracking rendered instance separately from ID. Just not saving the rendered instance. Because well, then you'd be starting from 0 or 1 every time rather than starting from 1 or 2, whichever way round it is. Motor flinging. So that is pool 26. We need 4 motors. We'll fix this shit when we get back to it. It's pool 12, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we went right past it. Which one is copper sheet? Pool 39. Oh, I skipped one. Oh, we'll do it while we're here. Let's see. Oh, that's numbers possibly wrong. .5 plus 12.333334 plus 4.28125 and 4 thing. Right, so either my calculator's wrong or noted the number down wrong. So let's double check this with Skim. So I've got to put what number we'll be using. There we go. Right, so Skim says 53.052, whereas mine says 53.52085. Now, are my numbers wrong or is Skim wrong? That's a question. Well, I kind of see that it's rounded the number up, so let's see what happens if I round the number up. Yeah, there we go. That is a little bit odd, though. That's a bigger number. Or it's producing less. Or it's requiring less. I'm gonna message Dan Thor about that. Pull the lice cap up. So around that, around that. Yeah, there's something weird going on. Well, with the math and the numbers and the things. Actually, I'm gonna pick Anthol's brain about that, possibly when I can. Oh, this is just sorted alphabetically. Anyway. Don't know where that mortar came from. Just manually edit the save file there to remove the mortar that randomly appeared. So let's assume these numbers are correct, because it's a more precise number than the scheme seems to be using. Even though the number seems to be a little bit off, because smaller number, blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's update the signage here. Okay, where is silica? Field 22. Oh, excuse me. Field 18, wasn't it? Yep, there we go. Go. Where did I put copper sheets? There we are. Oh, rubber's downstairs. There we are. We have 33.916667 going to routers. Pool 25. And then pool 18. Yes, pool 18. Right, now we head back downstairs again. Oh yes, yeah. Okay, I lost track of where I was because I skipped over this one. Okay, so encased industrial beam. I don't think I'm producing that anywhere. Let's check the save file. Nope. Probably the same for steel pipe. What is the actual thing? That is steel pipe, so we go steel pipe. No, not making that either. Modular frame we are making. But that's already accounted for, so yeah. I think this is the point at which I'm going to take a break and maybe get some features implemented. Because I've got a large portion of the Space Elevator facility put in. I've found some bugs, like entering the numbers in has like helped us find some features I need to implement. And yeah, I think like this stage of things is mostly making corrections to the facility itself rather than the actual numbers and what have you. So let's get that saved. So that's going to be all for now. I will be back on probably sometime next week. I'm still doing development of this production planner, so any time that I'm not streaming, because it's this whole thing with Satisfactory, the only time I play Satisfactory is when I'm streaming it, and I need to make a production planner to help me play Satisfactory at the moment. So that's why I've not, streamed since February. Well, actually, you can check me blooming gaming website and see how long it's been. Yeah, end of February. I might, if I get kind of bored or inspired, work on the production planner this evening, and if I did get that done, I then might be streaming. Like if there's a feature that might help us do this next bit of organising. But if I'm not on this evening, I'm not entirely sure when I would next be streaming, because I've been doing the live stream clipping offline since I've been working on this production planner, so that's probably going to continue until it's in a more baked fashion. So yeah, that's going to be all for now. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.